Hey there, everyone. It's Patricia Hayes, and I am back to talk about the dreaded networking word again. Welcome to this video mini-series where we're talking about net giving to network and how to build authentic relationships. And really what I've been wanting to focus on with this mini-series is to, in 10 minutes or less, point out some key issues or concerns that most people have about networking, and then to tell you some strategies and tips on how to address it or to deal with it or to overcome it. And so the second one that I'm going to talk about is the issue of not having enough, quote, time to do that stupid networking thing, because that's what most people, they're like, oh, I don't have enough time to go sit at those, events, or, I'm going to have to, go through parking, and I have to go through traffic and all of this stuff, and it's not even going to be worth my time to show up, blah, 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 blah. Basically, a bunch of excuses, right? How do I know this? Because I have done those excuses. I still make some of those excuses every once in a while. But here's the thing. If you are trying to do anything professionally, and if you're trying to get somewhere with a business or whatever, you're going to have to get out and meet people. You're going to have to interact with people in some way. And so there are things that happen, whether it's a happy hour, a reception, a social event, a dinner or a gala. Those things come up and they happen. The thing to do, though, is to not just make excuses about not going. Just own it, right? First of all, you just gotta own it. I'm tired. I don't feel like being bothered. Okay, great. Now, move on. Now, let's talk about what the actual event is, what's the benefit to you attending, and then how to make the most of it. Is it something that you can pop in on and leave early or leave a little bit? Or is it something that's like, no, you're going to have to be in it for the long haul, for example, like a dinner? Okay, you have to weigh the pros and cons of the events. The thing to do really, though, is to take a good, strong look at your calendar and to look at those things, particularly things that are repetitive, that come up on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, whatever. So particularly, let's say if you're a part of an association, and let's say there's a monthly luncheon that happens. You can decide, you know what, I'm going to try to make that luncheon at least once a quarter. Okay, that gives you the flexibility of scheduling it, of not feeling overpowered or overwhelmed by trying to make it to all of them, particularly if you base it on, like, if there's a subject matter that's being discussed by the keynote speaker or the presenter, or the workshop is focused on something. If there are, let's say, social events, because those can get expensive, particularly if your business is not, or your company is not paying for them. I've been through those things several times where I had to foot the bill because maybe I worked for a governmental entity and they weren't paying for those types of things, or hey, how about now I work for myself, I generate my own income, so I have to be really strategic about what events I attend, particularly if they cost money and or are expensive. So I'm very strategic about those things. So look at those things, look at those opportunities that you have, because that's what they are. They are opportunities to build relationships that will benefit you either in the short term or in the long term with regards to your business, your profession, your career, and so forth and so on. Okay? So think of it in those terms. Identify those particular activities that may come on a regular basis, quarterly, monthly, whatever, bi-weekly, and decide which ones you're going to go to. Put them on your schedule it out, and know that you're going to attend those, and that gives you some flexibility. Or do it based on your budget or your time. I have been there. I have done that whole trying to get to everything all the time. Overrated. Again, I was much younger, particularly when I did not have kids. So that was a lot to be able to deal with. But even after I had kids, I was still running a lot on those things. Your life changes, things shift, your profession changes. And so that doesn't mean you cut those things out. It means that you shift them according to your priorities, and then you do those things. So that I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to feel guilty because I wasn't making it to the 15th chicken dinner of the month, right? I make my choices, and I decided sometimes either because I just was tired and didn't want to be burnt out, or maybe there was something like I had a family obligation, and just needed to, to stay home with my family or go to one of my kids' events. It's okay. It's called life. It's allowed. But make those choices. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be strategic about planning how you build out your professional relationships, because it can be done. All right? That's today's tip for how to deal with networking situations and the myth of, oh, I don't have time to go to that event because. All right? We all have time. Own it. It's about the choices that we make. Make your choice, stick with it, and move on. All right? Take care, and I will talk to you later.